right about now, our guest has made the opportunity, or rather availed himself. Asante sana, Mr. Vicento. If you can hear me. If you can hear me.
Hello.
Jambo.
Jambo, asante sana, Ian. Thanks for having me. How's it going?
The going is very fine, actually.
Right about now.
Right about now. Thank you for making the time, yes? And
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, I'm going to be jumping straight into it because of time and everything. I just want you to debunk to us, what actually is the AU-EU Innovation Festival?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ian, and thank you very much, friends from Blue Radio Kenya. I've got to say that, first of all, I'm a big fan, and I do follow closely what you guys are doing, and I think it's very commendable. Shout out there, props for what you're doing. It's indeed very important to be as youth and the innovation and entrepreneurship within Africa. So let's talk about this AU-EU Innovation Festival.
Yes.
It's an upcoming initiative happening on the 15th of June in Cape Town in South Africa, and it will be a really event that really aims to kickstart the innovation phase of the AU-EU innovation agenda. The innovation is basically new policy mainstay of the cooperation between Africa and Europe on science, technology, and innovation. So these AU-EU Innovation Festival, an opportunity for innovators and investors coming from Africa, Europe, as elsewhere, and present solutions and strategies and opportunities to really implement the AU-EU agenda. The goal of is really to translate innovation to our ground, so products, services, and jobs in Africa. So an innovator from wherever you're based in the continent in Africa, or from Europe as well, or from elsewhere, you maybe want to check this out and come to the festival.
Definitely. And some of the things, guys want to know actually is, what are some of the things, specifications that, will be looked at or considered while they apply? Can you break it down for us?
Yes, and thank you very much, Ian. So let me be very specific. What we got on the festival, now an expression of interest for innovators, entrepreneurs. I'll be happy to share the link with you also during our chat, but I'm sure that you guys may have already shared before, and we'll continue. And thank you very much again to Blue Radio and the team for the support into this. An expression of interest for innovators and innovators, especially across the 4 thematic areas that are indeed those of the priority of the cooperation between Africa and Europe. And these are public health, green transition including the 2 sub-areas of food and nutrition security and sustainable agriculture, FNSC, and climate and C. Third priority is the one of innovation and technology, and the one is capacity science, so very much linked to capacity building, I imagine. So especially in these areas, there'll be opportunities indeed for innovations to be showcased, and even there's a fair, the AU-EU Innovation Fair, that we organize in the second half of this festival, which is, by the way, a one-day event running on June 15th in Cape Town, South Africa. Of course, still with hybrid facilitation, so it would also be accessible online.
All right, very, very powerful. Thank you for that. Of course, someone listening in, a young person, a young woman, a young gentleman, and they're wondering, apart from the opportunities to network, to meet some of the who is who in the industry, what are some of other benefits, apart from just networking, getting to meet people, getting to pitch? What other thing comes with this package, or rather this event, that they can go home with, or rather learn, or take away with them?
Yeah, much. I mean, of course, sustainability is extremely important, because indeed there's many events, there's many things happening in Africa, Europe, globally. And then, of course, we want to make sure that the end users and the innovators, those that are participating and taking part in them, they continue enjoying them following the events, in the wake of the events. Let me also start by saying that there's a project that is rich enough. It's a project that is funded by the Union with the Horizon 2020 work program. It's about connecting innovators and, let's say, innovation ecosystems between Africa and Europe, but also within Africa. So I would say that this is something that innovators should also be checking out right about now, just before the festival and through the project happening, has been happening the past, let's say, 2 years, and will be for the next. So opportunity there, and your opportunity there is about training, capacity building, opportunities to grow startups and really entrepreneurs in whatever area that indeed may be of interest. So for instance, it could be training in certain technology aspects, it could be training in business development, it could be training in intellectual property, and so on and so forth. So I would say, let's have a look at the Rich in Africa project. I'm happy to link in there. But then, of course, throughout the implementation of this AU innovation agenda, which to be adopted, would actually adopted 2 days before the festival, we aim really to launch several initiatives to further support innovation ecosystems in Africa and in Europe, and of course this.
Thank you. And many a times young Africans shy away from such opportunities. How is the organization, making steps to ensure that the maximum number of innovators can actually get on board, and actually after they have come on board, learned whatever they have learned? Is there a system you're putting in place to follow up, after the meeting has happened?
Thank you, Jan, for this question, and thank you also to the team for such an important question. I would say that possibly one tangible way to answer would be by doing what we're doing now and be part of this conversation, engaging the 2 parts, making sure that indeed youth and the youths, I would say as a plural term, are engaged and involved in this conversation, but then also making sure that we are walking the talk and making sure that the conversation doesn't just remain as such, but it really translates into tangible and concrete opportunities, which is also one strong ambition of this AU and the main strong ambition of the AU innovation agenda. So as you know, and possibly our story, the story that I'm sharing today and that enables us to discuss about this today, is an evidence for that. Stakeholder event as part of the stakeholder digest around this AU EU innovation agenda last November in beautiful Nairobi in your country. This is how your team, and the rest is history, and which is in the making. So being part of the conversation, and also make sure the conversation continues and the opportunities are shared, and indeed we're learning from each other. I mean, when it comes to the youth in terms of innovation, the youth is indeed the reservoir, is where the creativity is started, is where the innovation is created. But we need to make sure the support given back to the youth is empowering the youth to bring things to scale and to make them in a sustainable and employable way, because indeed the youth needs jobs and training opportunities and needs opportunity to thrive in innovation and beyond.
Very powerful. And of course, right now in the world, all over, also in Kenya, we do notice there is the growth, or rather opportunities being given priority for women and girls. Does the AU-EU setup, acknowledge, or rather, offer a wider space for women in innovation and business, as when it comes to, let's say, opportunities in the conference and the festival at large?
Yes, thank you very much for this question, Jan. So absolutely. So let me try and make a step back and tell you that the final version of this, the final draft of this AU EU innovation agenda, which just today was presented to the meeting of senior officials of both AU and EU, which took place this morning, really includes the wording of youth and women, and also vulnerable groups, very clearly throughout its objectives, and also throughout the actions of the innovation agenda. So this, of course, has a political importance, as you can imagine, by the time the agenda will be adopted in June through the ministerial meeting on the 13th. That being said, we are with the aim to be walking the talk, we have already conceived within the festival the opportunity to have dedicated Agora sessions, discussion forum, specifically focusing on women and young innovators, so women and youth at the same time. Next week, we're launching the website of the festival, where you can see the preliminary probably puts black and white in there. What is already available is indeed the space for the calls for expression of interest for innovators to apply and express to come and pitch on stage. So this will provide, in our view, for the festival, really large opportunities to discuss, and for women-led innovations and for youth-led innovations, opportunities to really share experiences with the audience, but also learn from the feedback and really share views with the feedback and investors on how things could be brought to scale. Because indeed, it's important to share but it's also important, in our view, to share the bottlenecks. What could be done better? What could be improved, indeed, for opportunities to grow bigger and for start to really become larger and grow into success, enduring success stories.
Thank you. And I understand, that the European Union and also major cities and countries in the world are putting blue economy at the forefront right now in terms of climate mitigation and climate awareness. How is this program, sorry for veering off a little bit, how is the Innovation Festival, bringing into perspective aspects of blue economy?
Yeah, thank you, Ian. You delve into that. I'm gonna try and keep it short. I want to reassure you that indeed the effects of food and nutrition security and sustainable agriculture and the fisheries, but the broader, as you mentioned, economy, also encompassed by the actions of the EU innovation agenda. So that is taken into account, and indeed there will be initiatives that are also in that space. So also from an environmental perspective, but also, as I was trying to say, for the food security and the food safety perspective as well.
All right. And one of the most important things will be, getting on the stage and pitching, which of course is one of the major attributes that, or rather what will be bringing these entrepreneurs over there. What tips, can you offer anyone listening in who maybe, they haven't gotten the chance, to brush their skills, or haven't been to an event with the magnitude and the type of audience that will be present?
Yes, so the pitching opportunity will be about 3 minutes. Innovators will have to come on stage and convince the audience in 3 minutes about how good their innovations or the solutions they propose are. In that case, I would say my advice would be less is more. You don't need to say too much, but try and convey a powerful message and be focused on the unique point that you need to. And this is also what we have the application. And I will share in a second. We ask innovators, the starters, to elaborate on what they think their unique selling point is. So be short, effective, make it to the point, and make sure you stand out.
Very powerful, of course. And while they present, obviously there will be will there be a panel to judge their performances, and also to give them feedback on areas they can improve, and of course get better on with their business or their ventures?
Absolutely, yes. So I'm going to short absolutely feedback will be provided. Indeed, also for those participants already earlier on, there won't be unfortunately, because indeed we have to make selections anyway. There will be feedback provided, and there will be an interaction ongoing, but certainly also for those at the festival. Yes.
Amazing. Of course, when anyone hears about a festival, their mind rings, food, parties, and all these goodies that will be available. So which prompts me to this question. How, or rather, will anyone coming anyone who will be pitching, what prizes can they expect after, pitching and after the event is done?
So it's certainly not as the sense we haven't for a prize. I think the prize should be really taken as the opportunity of and to really network and investors. Sky's the limit, because indeed we don't know what type of opportunity. Well, we can only hope for the best, but you can imagine if an innovator is there and is pitching about his solution or her solution, then maybe this can lead into a conversation with an investor during the fair. So that's really, I think, the rewarding that we're hoping for. Just to be clear on the structure, there will be a pitching moment for the innovators, and once they, while they pitch, they would also refer to where then the audience them again. It will be in the second half of the afternoon, will be where the fair, the AU Innovation Fair takes place. So there's a fair space where you can have the projects, or they can have the tools to showcase their innovations, or can even 3D demonstrations of what their innovations are about. So I think this should be looked at the reward enough, because it's possible through contacts that are other.
Thank you very much. A while back, you mentioned 4 critical areas that are going to be considered, or rather are the pillars of the conversation. I'm wondering, and I think it's not only me, why these are 4 critical areas? How did you come towards, or rather to pick these 4 areas?
Yeah, thank you, Ian. So these areas are in the areas of the so-called joint priorities. So defined jointly by both African Union, European Union, and they intensify first ever ministers of research and innovation of the African Union, European Union that took place in July 2020. So the recognition as priority areas really stems from the importance, the crucial importance, I would say, to overall sustainable development of our societies, really. What I'd like to stress out, indeed, that they are coming from a joint, reflection, and really they do express they are priority for both Europe and Africa at the same time.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Right about now, yes, I'd like us to take a little musical break. Our Ebo DJ has some fantastic tunes for us to sample, and also our listeners. And after a track or two, I want us to dive into the final end of the conversations, if you'll allow us kindly.
Absolutely. I hope you're going to play a nice tune. Huh? What's baking?
That one, I think I'm going to welcome my Ebo DJ on the mic for him to break it down for us. Or actually, he can't be reached kidogo, but he's saying, yeah, he'll have a special track just for you. Kindly be patient and listen in, and you'll share your comments with us when we do get back.
Perfect. Looking forward to that. Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? The premier edition of the AU-EU Innovation Festival is here, happening on the 15th of June 2023. This festival is the best platform for European and African startups and SMEs to pitch their innovations and present to a wide audience of investors, public funders, NGOs, innovation support organizations, research and innovation organizations, and peers. To be considered for this opportunity, please apply by Sunday the 7th of May 2023. Successful applicants will be contacted by Tuesday the 16th of May 2023.
All right. Thank you for listening and for tuning in. This is Man Like Kipto, of course, on The Drive Show, bringing you the vibe each and every day is Blue Radio. We are joined live by Mr. Vicento himself. Of course, if you're wondering who he is, we have played his major track a while back. You didn't tell us you are a musician and an artist.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, you don't need to tell it all, right? So, yeah, I mean, in my spare hours, that's an activity that I've been entertaining for many years now. So, yes.
I think come this year, we shall arrange for an event, and we'll invite you as a guest artist in that event.
Absolutely. It'll be my pleasure.
All right, let's jump back into it. And I'm going to be starting off at a very crucial point. We understand that this event will be happening down south in Cape Town, a major city in Africa. I would really like you to talk to us about your expectations in terms of the turnout and in terms of the quality of pitches and startups, or rather the entrepreneurs you expect to be available.
Yeah, I think the what we're hoping for is really to first of all have a vibrant event where there's a really wide participation across sectors. And thank you very much for passing the announcement that you just played earlier on. We are really aiming for a cross-sectoral participation. So innovations at all levels, not just coming from the private sector or higher education institutions, research institutions, but also coming from civil society, social innovation, and so on and so forth. So in terms of deliverables, we are hoping for participation that is really cross-sectoral and multidisciplinary. We're also hoping indeed for a large representation of different countries across the Union and Europe, certainly really wide representation in terms in geography. And also, as we said, we are engaged as much as possible youth, women, and also vulnerable groups, because indeed their engagement, their involvement in this innovation agenda is something that is extremely important indeed.
Amazing. And it's often said that a wise person usually learns from their past. And I want to ask, from the event that you held in Nairobi, what are some of the notable lessons that you learned and that you'll be carrying onwards into the event that will be happening in Cape Town?
Well, I mean, it's a very broad question. Thank you for that. I think what I think we learned that it's been very clear, at least to my perception, and that engagement, especially in person, can pay off in the sense that it can be enriching. If there's a dialogue there, it can only be strengthened through events like the one we had in Nairobi, where we gathered more than 350 really participants at the same time. Of course, from across Africa, but also from Europe and from elsewhere. So coming to your question, I would say that really stakeholder engagement is something to be kept in mind and considered, because for institutions it's a learning opportunity, and of course it's a way also to inform stakeholders of what the work is being done in the policy space. I would say now that we are moving towards the adoption of this agenda, what is important is indeed to continue the momentum. So we created a sort of momentum. Now we really need to make sure it is maintained and brought to the next step in actions, also through the implementation of the agenda. That's why we have large events and the strong ambition for delivering a powerful, as you said, AU festival in Cape.
Amazing. And right about now, yes, exactly 46 past 6 o'clock, I want to get into the final segment, the stretch of our conversation. And I want to open this conversation to you. Right about now, any young man, any young woman listening in, what advice, or rather what piece of advice or valuable information can you extend to them, whoever is listening in to us right about now? Yes.
Well, I mean, you're asking a series of difficult questions, Jan, and I could say, I mean, I'm going to say Asante Sana, but really, you're giving me a not so easy time, huh? And, jokes aside, I think the only piece of advice, and thank you for me to this, but the only piece of advice that I could try and give is really put yourselves in a mindset according to which give yourself the opportunity to learn throughout your life, and every day, and in every single activity in which you engage, and try to apply this for my very self. I think it's a way of innovations and creativity really, and ways to improve ourselves in every day. I think we are exposed to different challenges, not on an individual basis. So, as globally speaking, all nations need to have continuity. I think it's triggered a willingness to say always entering this.
Amazing. And I do understand, that these events do happen in partnership with local organizations, local authorities, and local leaders involved. How important, do their role in organizing, mobilizing, their people, mobilizing security, mobilizing locations? How important are they, and how is their role, ensuring that these events become successful?
Very much for this question as well, Ian, to allow to some background the scene in this organization. I take this indeed to say institutions. So this organized is going to be co-hosted by both the European Union and the African Union. So it's both Commission and Union Commission in that. Of course, with the major involvement as well of the South Africa's Department of Science and Innovation, because indeed we are hosted in their home, and at the same time of the EU delegation to Pretoria and to South Africa. So it's already a multi-actor organization. At the same time, we're also engaging with the local South Africa-based innovation ecosystem. So the accelerators, the hubs based in the area that have been in this conversation to say, also to them, the friends from the Africa Arena, so for example, that have been already part of this dialogue, and they're helping us out in the organization. That's a significant value, and I'd like to acknowledge that. So thank you for that too.
All right, thank you, Sana. I would like us to, if you allow me, to go into our final question. I don't know, let me check our socials if we have any listener who has forwarded their questions. Just a minute or two. Yes, let me check that real quick. Yes, who is this? All right. This individual actually is saying, yes, since a lot of young men and women will be available at the event, pardon me kidogo. Okay. His question is not very clear. I would like us to jump quickly into the final segment, which is where I give you the opportunity to give us your parting shot as we wind up. What is your parting shot for today? I believe you had prepared something powerful for us and for our listeners.
Oh, I mean, I must admit I wasn't prepared for this. So what do you mean exactly? Any suggestions from our side? Or what is your expectation?
Okay, very nice. Thank you. My expectations, and for our listeners, that is, would be for you to clearly inform us how the application process is, where they can find the website, the link. I know you've shared with us. I will also do share that, but from your end, how they can find you on the social media platforms, be it if they want to go physically to your offices, maybe to send in the applications, or any help that they may need, to facilitate or make their applications much easier.
Yes, so thank you very much indeed. So we'll be sharing, I've already shared, and you'll be sharing it through the radio, indeed, the link to the webpage where the applications for the expression of interest could be made by innovators to come and pitch at the festival. The application process, as you said, is opened until, or as the announcement said also, is open until end of Sunday at midnight. So at night between Sunday and Monday, midnight meaning 1 a.m. Kenya time. And the review will be happening the following week, and the feedback will be provided by Tuesday the 16th. However, early next week, we're also launching the website for pre-registration to whatever attendees, so not just for the innovators to come and pitch for the Cape Town AU Innovation Festival. So, of course, we'll communicate this to the radio, and I would say stay tuned on these spaces, on the Blue Radio Kenya space, and you'll be informed accordingly about that. I would also put in the chat our the LinkedIn accounts of the EU Science Innovation, our DG Research Innovation and European Commission, where we'll be also advertising some of these major initiatives. And I would say, let's take it from there. Everything is done these days virtually and through the web, like you guys do anyway. So I would say, until we meet in Cape Town, everything can happen online.
All right. Thank you very much. Of course, I just want to remind you, yes, that where you're going, you're headed down south, the Amapiano land. Kindly, while you are there, please record an Amapiano track for us so that we can always play it right here on the Drive Show and every other show. And of course, please greet my friend Vusi Tembakwayo. I really love his podcast. If you get the chance to interact with him, please greet him for us.
Absolutely. Actually, for the next show, we should think about a way to, I would like to learn how come Amapiano is so successful indeed in Kenya. I've got to say, it's just going beyond Kenya anyway. But I understand it's a big thing out there.
Definitely. Of course, as we like to say right here on the Drive Show, Asante Sana.
Asante Sana to you. Thank you.
And of course, from where I come from, we always like to say Kongoi.
Kongoi to you too.
All right. Have a lovely evening.
And thank you very much to the team for having me. Till next time, we'll keep in touch.
Definitely. Of course, if you're listening to us right about now, that has been the masterclass or the fantastic conversation we've been having with Mr. Vicento about the opportunities for young Africans, for Africa, in Africa. Kindly, from wherever you are in this great nation, in the 254 or the world at large, please visit our socials, at Blue Radio KE, of course, to learn more and, of course, find out how you can get the chance to be in South Africa to engage or rather find more in these opportunities. Right about now, we're going to be handing it over to our Ebo DJ.